Okay, you're about to watch Texas GOP Rep Todd Hunter get backed into a corner over his party's plan to rig elections in Texas. His attempt to hide behind his legal team collapses when Democratic Rep Ramon Romero Jr. presses him with simple, direct questions. As usual, let's watch the video in full. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts at the end.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Romero, for the purpose?
Does Jim yield for questions?
Gentleman yield for questions?
Yes.
Gentleman yields for questions.
Chairman Hunter, I'm a little troubled. I've never heard anyone say in this body, and you've certainly been here longer than I have, but for you to say that you're not required to have hearings, I understand that may be a fact, but I don't understand that to be Texan. I don't understand that to be something that we would not welcome opinions of the public. And yet we did hold 3 public hearings. So with all due respect, Mr. Chairman, when you say that this was just you and the lawyers, what would you tell any Texan? Because I believe every person that testified under oath. Is that correct?
That I don't know. I hope they did.
Well, if they registered to testify before any committee in this House, they do have to register under oath that what they say is true and correct. Is that correct?
I follow the House rules like you, but you're asking me a personal question. I don't run the committee. I'm sure Mr. Vasut did everything accurately, but you're asking me beyond my role.
And that's where I'm troubled, Mr. Chairman, is that that someone would come down, affirm that everything that they're going to say is true and correct, and then to hear now you say that they're not required, didn't have to happen, and that you did this with you and your lawyers and you gave them instructions, means to the public they really don't have any reason to come to this great building that we serve in with so much history, because they won't be heard. But
I 100% disagree, and I get the right to respond. Number one, I 100% disagree with you. Number two, and you're not going to like this, but for 18 days, things could have happened. You all chose to walk out. To me, you damaged the process. You kept people away. You kept work from being done. Don't use that as an excuse to belabor this bill. 2, legally, and I'm talking legally, we didn't have to do hearings. I just said Chairman Vasut asked for hearings. I supported him on those hearings. I sat in a hearing, in addition, for 12 plus hours. I am glad we did hearings. And I also encouraged all members and anybody that they wanted to come visit with me. And sir, for 18 days, certain members did not. And so to come up here and say public don't matter, they absolutely matter. And by gosh, you're forgetting political performance. That political performance, Republicans do matter, and they're in this bill.
Well, let's talk about
and the U.S. Supreme Court says we can do that.
Let's talk. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. As you know, the population growth in Texas has been, over the last 20 years, has been almost half of that has been Latino population growth. So, Mr. Chairman, did you do any analysis or review whether voting is racially polarized in Texas before, during, or after the drawing of this map? And if you did, can you tell me what districts of the new maps are located in areas where racially polarized voting exists?
Representative, I'm going to give you the answer that I gave in committee, so I'm consistent. 1, I worked with counsel, just like your opposition groups are working with counsel against this plan.
So you never asked counsel?
Well, let me finish. So counsel told me that they had checked everything legally, did everything analytically, and absolutely assured me this bill is proper form and legal. So if the polarization that you're asking about, I'm certain that they did all that analysis, but I relied on them. I don't have the specific knowledge.
So you're certain? That makes me feel comfortable that you might have directed them to include racially polarized voting. So what analysis of Latino voter preferences did you conduct before drafting any of the districts in this plan?
So what I just said is I asked council to look at increasing political performance and to follow all rules, regulations, laws to make sure that what was proposed was legal and proper. What they did specifically, I don't know.
So do you agree that racially polarized voting exists in Texas?
From a legal standpoint, I think that's a debatable in the courtroom, and I'm not able to tell you that now. Is race different in certain areas of the state and how people treat each other? Absolutely. But in this particular one, Representative, I would do everything I can to have lawyers draft it so it is proper and that it does do what is legal.
So that's somewhat vague, so I'm going to just dive a little deeper. You gave direction for the reasons that you gave, but I'm asking specifically, in giving those directions, and you said following the law, do you believe that they considered racially polarized voting?
Do I have personal knowledge? The answer is no. Do I believe that they checked every box, checked every law? The answer is yes. I have huge respect for the lawyers.
Mr. Chairman, does the Federal Voting Rights Act require the creation of any Latino majority congressional districts in Texas?
I do know that when you talk about coalition districts, which
That's
is,
not my question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
With all
it
due
is.
respect.
Yes, it is. Disrespect, you're not letting me answer. I don't agree with your question. You said a mandate on Hispanic. That does impact coalition districts. It does impact the issue of majority. And the Fifth Circuit in Petaway says you're wrong. Now, number two, is there a specific requirement? 4 out of the 5 brand new congressional are Hispanic. 4 of the 5 are Hispanic majority.
Mr. Chairman, does the vote...
But if there's a requirement, I'd have to ask counsel.
So the answer to the next question, does the Federal Voting Rights Act require the creation of any black majority congressional district in Texas? And I believe your answer is you don't know.
No, I would do what you and 90% of the people on this floor that have lawyers that have created the lawyer annuity plan in redistricting. You all go to your lawyers to get them to give you a response. I go to my lawyer to get a response. So if there's a legal question, I would go to them and they would give me that information.
And I do believe that when I talk to my lawyers, I give them direction, clear direction. I don't say follow all the laws, especially given when we're talking about the population growth, the growth of our state and where it's come from. Mr.
But I
Chairman,
disagree now, sir.
that wasn't a question.
No, you're not supposed to make statements. You make a statement, I get to respond. You just said you don't tell them to follow all the laws. I absolutely do. I tell them to follow all the laws.
Mr. Chairman, are you aware of any additional DOJ communications to the state of Texas through the governor's office, AG's office, or otherwise regarding unlawfulness of the current congressional map?
I am aware through the committee process that there was a Department of Justice letter. I've had no communication with Department of Justice. I have no communication with the governor's office about that. I've had no communication with anybody about that except general members in the committee process.
Mr. Chairman, are you aware if the DOJ has threatened any enforcement proceeding or action since the initial DOJ letter to Governor Abbott?
I have no specific knowledge on that.
Mr. Chairman, do you believe that in the Dallas-Fort Worth region where I'm from, that there should have been a Latino majority district created? And do you realize that there is no Latino majority district in Tarrant County?
Well, there is in the North Texas area, but if you're trying to split it up, for example, Houston, are you talking about under the new 5?
Thank you, Mr.
If you're talking about under the new 5, it's Houston, Valley South, Dallas area is a brand new district, Coast South, San Antonio. So those were the areas that the new 5 are, if that's what you meant to ask.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
This is the whole game right here. That line, I don't have the specific knowledge, is the most infuriating, disingenuous, and honestly cowardly defense I have ever heard. He's not saying he's incompetent. He's not admitting he doesn't know how to do his job. He is admitting that he intentionally kept himself ignorant of the most important details so that he could sit there under oath and lie to everyone's face. It's a deliberate firewall, you know? It's like laundering money, except you're laundering bigotry through the legal system. You just give this vague instruction to your lawyers, just follow the law, please. And then you get the exact discriminatory map you wanted all along. And when you're called on it, you can just throw your hands up and go, who, me? I'm just a simple politician. The lawyers handled it. But claiming you don't have specific knowledge isn't a defense. It's a confession. It is a full-throated admission that you gave your team a wink and a nod directive to produce something you knew was rotten to its core. You're using their law degrees to sanitize your racist political agenda, and it is absolutely pathetic to watch. Honestly, it's just profoundly cowardly. It's the political equivalent of getting your little brother to do something you know is wrong and then blaming him when you both get caught. Except here, the consequences aren't getting grounded. It's disenfranchising millions of voters. And then he takes it to a whole nother level. The performance of willful ignorance about the Voting Rights Act, it's just stunning. This is the foundational law for his entire job. His one job is to draw maps that are fair and legal, and he's acting like the VRA is some obscure footnote he's never heard of. It's like a pilot saying he has to ask a flight attendant if gravity is real. It's such an obvious, pathetic lie, and it's insulting to everyone listening. The fact that he can say, I'd have to ask my lawyer with a straight face, is proof that this isn't a slip-up, it's the strategy. This is the playbook. They treat fundamental civil rights law like it's some kind of advanced calculus that only a few people in a back room can possibly understand. Why? Because if they can convince you it's too complicated, they don't have to debate the morality of what they're doing. They can just shrug and say, hey, it's a legal matter. And this is how they get away with it. They reduce this massive assault on democracy to a boring procedural issue, hoping we'll all get confused and look away. It's a lie designed to protect him from having to defend the indefensible. Of course, when his main strategy, the legal shield, starts to get a few cracks, he immediately pivots to the other page in the playbook, projection. He just lashes out and blames the Democrats for walking out. It's so predictable, you could set your watch to it. I mean, the audacity is just breathtaking. You can't defend the secretive anti-democratic process you've been running, so you just attack the people who are trying to sound the alarm about it. It's a classic bully tactic. You don't get to set the house on fire and then blame the firefighters for breaking a window to get in. The Democratic walkout was a last-ditch effort to stop the very backroom dealing that he just admitted to doing. And he has the nerve to use their protests as his excuse. This whole exchange isn't just a heated debate. It's a perfect microcosm of how the modern GOP operates. They break democracy behind closed doors, and then they lie about it in public with these weak, transparent, and shameless deflections. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. While you guys are down there, do me a massive favor, hit that subscribe button, and also give the video a thumbs up as well. I appreciate you guys, and as usual, I will see you guys in the next one.